This is a brief demonstration of the Total Force dashboard. On the main page of the dashboard, there are navigating tabs located at both the top and bottom of the page. These tabs include Total Force Dashboard, Navy Dashboard, Army Dashboard, Air Force, Civilian, and Contractors. There are also tabs located at the bottom of the dashboard, which shows expanded menu options. When you select the Total Force Dashboard tab, you'll find the total personnel count, which excludes contractors, which is further broken down by phases and spaces, as well as the fill rate percentages. For directorate breakdown, clicking on a respective directorate would display staff breakdown by phases, spaces, as well as fill rate percentages. Let's review this by clicking on DCS, where we can view the staff breakdown for that directorate. The other information that can be viewed includes skill distribution, UIC distribution, occupation, and phases and spaces. Clicking on phases and spaces shows the DERMISI data and the JTD data for personnel in DCS. Navy dashboard features include phases, spaces, and fill rate breakdown for Navy personnel, categorized into enlisted and officers. The dashboard also allows us to explore skill level breakdowns, such as Skill Type 1, which further categorizes officers by designator and specialties. Let's take a look at this feature. If you would like to know the breakdown of Navy officers who are Skill Type 1s, we can click on Skill Type 1 and it shows the designator 2100, Medical Corps Officer, as well as 2200, Dental Corps Officer. The data is further broken down by specialties. If you scroll to the right, it gives you the phases and spaces information. Under designator 2200, Dental Corps Officers, it is further broken down into specialties and phases and spaces information. Clicking the three-dot ellipsis reveals various menu options, such as the ability to export the data as a table into Excel. Let's now take a look at the Navy Phases and Spaces tab. Clicking on this tab highlights the Navy roster as well as the Navy AMD. If we want to view the number of Navy cardiologists, we can search using the title description drop-down menu, or by typing the word cardiologist. Here we can view the roster, as well as the AMD for cardiologists. This information can similarly be exported by clicking on the three-dot ellipsis. To go back to the main page, you can move your cursor to the top left side of the page and a yellow arrow appears, which will take you back to your previous page. Remember to always click Reset Filters to reset your page. Let's now take a look at the Army dashboard, which is set up very similar to the Navy dashboard. To the left, this column summarizes the Army phases, spaces, and fill rate information. Again, to keep it uniform, let's look at Skill Type 1s for the Army. There is a slight difference with the Army, since unlike the Navy, where the Skill Type 1s are broken down by their specializations, the Army is slightly different, in that it's broken down by the job codes. If we want to view how many dermatologists are assigned, we can search for the position by typing dermatologists. We can now see the breakdown of the dermatologist, phases, spaces, and fill rate. Similar to Navy, we can view who these dermatologists are by clicking on the Phases and Spaces tab. Remember, just as in the Navy data, all of this information can be exported by clicking on the three-dot ellipsis to the side of the columns. Let's click on the arrow to go back to the previous page, and remember to click on Reset Filters. Under Air Force, similar to both Navy and Army, the dashboard summarizes the phases, spaces, and fill rate information for Air Force personnel. By clicking on each skill type, it provides you with more details of how many airmen and officers are here at Walter Reed and their specializations. The Phases and Spaces tab provides the Air Force roster, as well as the Air Force UMD information. Let's take a quick look at the Civilian dashboard, where you can find information for your respective directorate. This menu is still a work in progress, however, we can examine some of its features. Let's select DBH. Here the data shows the number of civilians in DBH, and again, this is still a work in progress. If we want to see who is assigned here, we will click the Data tab, and it shows the names of the civilians in alphabetical order. Remember, by clicking on the three-dot ellipsis, more options are available to you. Clicking on the arrow to the top left takes you back to the previous page. Finally, there is one other feature I would like to show you before I close this peek into the dashboard. On the main menu, we have the department slicer. Note, always remember to reset your filters. If we would like to research how many employees there are at Walter Reed under optometry, we can go to the occupation description field and search under optometry. The data shows quite a few pieces of information under optometry. We can view the faces information, the spaces information, and the fill rate. On the Dermasci Faces tab, it goes on to further break down who is under the field of optometry, their various titles, where they are assigned, their skill types and grade, and what services they belong to. Thank you for exploring the Total Force dashboard, and we hope this overview can help you navigate its features effectively.